Hey, I'm Austin Davis, and we are in studio with Barebone. Well, guys, thank you for your set. Tell me about how you came up with the name Barebone. We'll start there.
It's pretty simple because the idea was, what can we do that's just us? And it's the most bare minimum thing you could do, and it's just bare bones, and just cut right down to it, just bare bone.
I was going to say, but it's one bone, right?
I watched this interview with Jack White where he's saying, what's the fewest amount of things we can do and still achieve this? If it's the back of this couch and he has 3 staples, you need 3 staples. You can't do 2, it just wouldn't work out. But if you do 3, so the thought was, how simple could we make this and still be entertaining and still have fun with it? And so it came down to just a really loud guitar and drums, and it's just kind of what I'm into. And this is the bare minimum of stuff we could do to make this interesting and fun for us.
Gotcha.
And the whole thing is just basically a conduit to just play loud guitar too. That's basically all it's about for me.
And it's all about the guitar and the riff for you
all
guys,
about
right?
the riff. It's cool little drum things every now and again, and it's all serving as the guitar, you know? The vocals are just gibberish. It doesn't matter. They don't exist.
They're just there to help the loud.
What are your musical influences?
For this particular band, it's a lot of Gary Clark Jr. I love that guy. He's an incredible guitar player. And just he's like a master of fuzz. And if I could get anywhere near that kind of a tone and rip him off, I would. It's such a good sound. I mean, like, Numb is just heavy and awesome and cool. But there's also Hendrix influence a lot. There's Buddy Guy influence, a lot of the old blues. Because when my dad raised me on metal, I, eventually branched out onto my own with everything else. And I have a huge, huge love of the blues. And so there's all kinds of influences there, trying to slide sometimes, like Muddy Waters would, which I can't do, but do the best I can with it. And there's a lot of that. So for this particular band, those.
What about you, Sean?
For this band in general, I think sure Bonham, and then almost any like 70s, just like meat and potatoes drums. Drums that sound like drums, for one. And then for two, they just lean very far forward.
I wake up in the morning, give my sorrow away. So I wake up in the morning, give my sorrow away. It makes me better, makes me feel like a jerk. I have a meal before breakfast, to make it through the day. So I have a meal before breakfast, make it through the day. It still makes me evil, not just maybe. That's what I think.
How old were you when you had your first rig, and who inspired you to pick up the guitar?
I didn't want to play guitar at first. I wanted to play drums, which is probably a big part of why I played drums for this. Because when school band came around, I wanted to play drums, and my mom said, "Oh, you should play trumpet, like your sister's dad does," because he played trumpet in a band down around in San Diego, and so they made me play trumpet, which I did not like, and that was third grade to sixth grade when I finally quit, and then she tried to get me a drum set around 14 or so, but like something you'd see on Craigslist now where somebody doesn't even know what they're listing, and it's like drums, $40, and that's what it was. There was a kick drum and a floor tom and a rack tom and one cymbal and no hardware and one stick and then one broken thing that was probably a stick, and only one drum might have had both heads on it, and I didn't know how to physically set it up, and I didn't know I'm sitting on the couch holding like the rack tom in my knees, and
you couldn't just go to YouTube at that point.
no. The sad thing, one of my only regrets in life is that it was like a Ludwig Keystone badge. The drum was red sparkle and the floor tom was blue and the rack was yellow, or some combination thereof. Like, those were good drums. They were just in bad shape, and I didn't know enough at the time to help them.
What about you, Tom?
So for me, when I was a little kid, I got an acoustic guitar, and there's a picture of me and my uncle, and he's tuning it for me. And this was before he passed of cancer, and that's like the first thing I can remember of just holding one. But I didn't take any interest in it, and then eventually I thought about maybe trying to learn guitar, and there was a really close family friend. They had this first act, and they gave me that, and I tried to learn a little bit. Didn't go so well, but eventually there was an opening for like a guitar class. I had to have an elective. And my dad's coworker let me borrow an acoustic so I could do that. And that's when I started just learning string names and stuff like that. But I mean, my dad raised me on Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. So it was like everything with a mullet and a jean jacket was what I listened to from the time I was a little kid. And then my mom's side was all like Tanya Tucker and, Johnny Cash and stuff like that. And to various degrees, I enjoyed that. I always liked Johnny Cash, but, some country I just kind of tuned out of. And then when I started playing guitar, it was like trying to learn Metallica. Trying to learn Black Sabbath.
Get you along, pretty baby mama. Get you some. Wanna get you along,
Favorite song to play that you guys have written? What's the most fun from your perspective?
I don't know if I consider it the most fun, but the best one done for this is usually the opener called "Hate You,"
Okay.
and it's just the most like rock and roll one we have. Basically, it's a heavy riff going into a really fun guitar solo for me to play because it's shreddy, but it also works, and that's
Okay.
always a fun thing because I tend to get a little extra when I'm playing. So it's one of those that allows for that.
I like Hey You, but I think Misogyny is probably a little more of a rocker.
Yeah, a little misogyny.
As far as like, there's because that one like just notably shifts gears. It's like not a complete on-off switch, but it's like, hey, here's something. It's kind of bluesy, and then it just shifts into rock, and then it shifts back. And so
That's
and that one I like. Yeah,
It's a fun one.
Cool.
I'm not gonna ask.
Okay. Do you sing in the shower? And what song do you like to sing?
I do like some warm-ups in the shower just because it's all steamy.
Okay.
And it's really nice to be able to like,
Get your vocal cords all loose. and-
get everything moisturized and feel like breathe in a little bit of the, dense air. Feels a lot better later to sing.
So do you have a warm-up routine or a song that you...
Yeah, I do. It's really annoying. It's basically just hitting the same notes over and over again
Okay.
in different like styles, ranging from just silly to serious, trying to
Gotcha.
just loosen up and be ready to project and yell because this band is absolute yelling for most of it.
And you don't sing in the shower.
I sing in the fridge.
In the fridge, okay. Do you have a favorite venue in Spokane or in the Pacific Northwest?
Big Dipper,
Big Dipper, okay.
absolutely, hands down.
Think I've ever played on that stage. But
Sounds great every time. Sounds pretty damn awesome.
We haven't played like this band hasn't played there.
This
We-
band
I
has it,
hope
but that's my
that-
favorite venue.
I
Maybe,
hope that
maybe
they
we
make
can
it.
use this interview to say, "Oh, please, can we play at the Big Dipper?"
Yeah.
as Barebone.
I hope.
But it was Cruisers is always a good time because you can drink and smoke on stage. Smoking on stage is just the best. There's nothing like playing, loud blues rock with a scotch and a cigar in your hand. Like, it doesn't get better than that. That's the epitome of rock and roll to me. The unfortunate thing about cigars is they don't just stay lit though. You gotta make it work. It's hard to sing, drink, and play like that. It's
Or maybe you could just like hire a roadie to like do that
hire a
for
robot.
you. No, like a stagehand, somebody just to stand next to you and.
Set up a.
I just get a taller mic stand and put the cigar in the mic clip,
Okay.
and then like one of those drinky holder things next to it, and then just have like a crazy straw or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Crazy
One
shot.
of the-
So sing your line, step over to the cigar mic stand.